Shout out to Johnny Awesome for allowing me to use his Let's Play footage. Link to his channel in the description below. In 2006, Tetsuya Takahashi, head of Monolith Soft, was struck by an idea for a game of a world taking place on the corpse of two gods. Takahashi began development immediately. With a world so genius, the story could come later. This eventually turned into Xenoblade Chronicles, my favorite game of all time. It released in Japan in 2010, Europe in 2011, and America in 2012. Circa 2011, after the completion of Xenoblade, Monolith Soft began their next project, which was released in 2015 by the name of Xenoblade Chronicles X. The story of Xenoblade X is actually the weakest in the franchise. It's kind of generic, to be honest. In the distant future, Earth is attacked by aliens and everyone escapes in spaceships, but only one survives. That, of course, being an American ship, and it has to be Los Angeles, the worst part of the US. Anyway, they crash land on a new planet, and this one girl, Elma, wakes you up from a cryo chamber and says, fight animals with me. After fighting some bitches, you go to New LA and join the military, which, by the way, is pretty funny if you actually say no to it.
Ms. Koo, how much do you know about life pods?
Life pods? You mean like from the white whale?
Yes, those life pods. Like the one Elma, a blade, rescued our friend here from. Emphasis on the word rescued. Because if you aren't released, you just sit there frozen in stasis. Forever.
So did you have an engineering question about life pods? Or is this all part of the guilt trip?
I'm sure I have no idea what you're talking about. Now, what'll it be, friend? Now, you wouldn't want to refuse the people who saved your life, would you, friend?
You join the military to search for the Lifehold, which is basically containing other survivors in cryosleep. The next fourth of the game will now be busy work. It's either a simple side quest or, hey look, is this part of the ship the Lifehold? I don't like this. Every other Xenoblade game has a good story with interesting worlds and constant plot twist. Xenoblade X only has like 2, maybe 3 plot twists and a non-interesting world. It's like they took regions for Xenoblade 1 and made them lamer. Except for Sylvalum, that place is pretty cool, I guess. Primordia is basically lamer Garplain, Noctilum is lamer Machna Forest, Oblivia is lamer Sword Valley, Cauldros is lamer mix of the Lava Cave from Valak Mountain and Central Factory, and NLA is basically much lamer Colony 9. As I said before, Sylvalum is the only cool area in my opinion. Okay, this is a post-recording, Jason. And I'm not trying to devalue Sylvalum in any way, but it is a lot like Satoral Marsh. Just thought I should mention that. The thing is, they don't feel connected. Sure, you can see Oblivia every now and then, but still, every time you go to a new area, it's like a frickin' Minecraft biome through a tunnel. Now sure, Xenoblade 1 has a dramatic change in biomes a few times, but some areas have cool ways of transitioning biomes. It all feels connected. You know why? Because you can see the Mechonis and Bionis anywhere outside on the map. When I first heard the game was basically 99% open world, I thought that was cool. But I'd prefer if the game just took some time to put loading zones in between each area. It can benefit the game so much. It can make the world feel more connected by having loading zones quote-unquote skip certain portions, and letting your imagination fill things in. It can speed up other loading times, and it lets models load, because look at this shit. Hey, this is Future Jason again, and I do want to say, although you can download some free DLC to like make the loading faster, but I tried downloading it on my Wii U, and I didn't even have enough space. So that's how bad the problem is. All of the characters in this game suck. They're all one-dimensional. We'd be here forever if I talked about every character, so I'll just complain about the main cast for now. You have another customizable self-insert main character like every other RPG these days, so he's a blank slate. Alma is just, I hope we find a lifehold, leader type. Lynn is just my least favorite character. Her entire personality is just, I'm more mature for my age, and I want to eat the Nopon.
Grub! Raw grub sounds delicious! Maybe Tatsu tries some when Linley finished cooking. Can Tatsu help?
Actually, you can. In fact, I can't make it without you.
Oh, really?
I just need one little favor.
Of course! Tatsu is at your disposal. What can Tatsu provide for Chef Linley?
Your liver.
Or should I say Nopon, as this game likes to say. Tatsu is basically Ricky from the first game, but, you know, lacking the emotion and all the humor. Just non-stop funny! The combat in this game sucks. Now, I have to praise the original Xenoblade more by talking about its combat to make my point. The combat works by initiating a fight with an enemy, and if you're close to the enemy, you'll auto-attack. It sounds boring, I know, but just wait. You also have these things called arts. Arts can do many things, but basically, they're like special attacks. And when you use them, they go on cooldown until you use them again. Now, each party member has a talent art. Each one is unique to each party member, and they each do something cool and unique. There's also something called the party gauge. It's separated into 3 little sections, and you fill it by basically supporting your other party members, landing the right attack at the right time, etc. If one section of the party gauge is filled, you can do so much. It can revive a party member, warn them of an upcoming attack, more on that in a second, etc. But, if you have all 3 sections filled, you can do a chain attack. Time stops. And each party member will do an attack in a specific order. If done right, you can do a ton of damage. And if you do good enough, you can keep the chain going. What's also cool about it is that you're not the only one who can do a chain attack. A few enemies can also do it, granted not as powerful, but still, it fleshes out the world so much. Also in Xenoblade 1, the main character has an ability where they can see the future, so that translates into combat, which is really, really cool. You get a vision of the future, which enemy will do what attack, what type of attack it is, who they'll attack, and how much time you have. This is really cool, because you can change the future. You can make it so the enemy doesn't attack at all, reduce the damage, direct towards another party member who can take the attack. You can use a section of the party gauge to warn party members and tell them what they should do, and so forth. Okay, I'm done talking about Xenoblade 1's combat and how awesome it is. So how does Xenoblade X compare? Well, they just kept the whole auto attack and art system and threw away everything else. You don't have a talent art. Why would you? You now have Overdrive, which basically is a damage amplifier, and I think it speeds up the cooldown on arts. You can do a bunch of damage with this, but why? This is so lame compared to talent arts. I get that this game has a lot of party members, or can, but just have some party members share the same talent art. This game also has tension points instead of a party gauge. You basically build them the same way you build up the party gauge. The thing is, it takes a long time to build up 3,000 tension points. Now remember how you need a single section of the party gauge to revive party members? Well, you need 3,000 tension points to do that. Now, I don't mind needing 3,000 tension points in order to activate overdrive. That's whatever, it's fine. But it takes so long to build up 1,000 tension points, so imagine needing 3,000 for anything. This especially sucks when you come across huge difficulty spikes, which I'll get into later. Also, you have two weapon types in this game, a ranged and melee weapon. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. But the combat still sucks, especially with bosses. The bosses in this game are very categorized, actually. If it's a boss that's important to the story, then it's a humanoid alien. If it's a one-and-done boss, then it's just some sort of animal. Although it's kind of neat, I miss big bosses throughout the story. There are a few, but it's all near the end game. I'm gonna quickly go through another chunk of the story, so yeah, skip here if you want to avoid spoilers for like halfway through the game. While searching for the Lifehold, and doing more side quests that they say are story quest, you learn that an alien race called the Prone and Ganglion were, guess what? Involved in Earth's destruction. And now they're gonna find and destroy the Lifehold, because they hate humans for some reason. During one of these fights, your arm gets cut off, and it's revealed that every human is a robot who works via mind control from the actual person, who are all sleeping in the Lifehold. This plot twist is actually pretty cool and gives better incentive, but you should not hide the main goal behind the halfway point of the game. The music in this game is atrocious. It could have been really good, but they ruined it. All of the area themes are so boring and generic. Yo, it's your boy, Future Jason again. And I'm here to tell you that once again, Sylvalum is the only cool part of the game. Because that place's music is actually good. Woohoo. Huh. This keeps happening, huh? And the battle themes? Scratch that. Nearly all the songs in this game are all ruined by lyrics and incoherent babbling. I mean, listen to this shit.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, is this thing on? Am I all alone? Is anyone there? I need a bigger gun.
This game's OST could have been good if you just removed the vocalist. The difficulty in this game is just so confusing. I need to talk about this because I have this problem with all Xenoblade games, perhaps all Monolith Soft games. There are so many random difficulty spikes in these games for no reason. It's most apparent in this game in my opinion, and it just hurts my soul. Though, there is no more satisfying feeling than overcoming said difficulty spiked bosses. Still, Monolith Soft, get your shit together. The whole gimmick of this game is that you can get these things called SKELLS. They're basically drivable transformers. Or, like, the Turbo Zords, I guess. They're actually pretty cool. The only gripe I have with them is that I just think they should be accessed before Chapter 6 instead of after. Chapter 6 isn't that important to the story, so use this as an opportunity to act as a tutorial for SKELLS. Certain weapons you equip to the SKELL will give it certain arts, which I think is pretty cool. A little later into the game, you can even get SKELLS that fly, which is encouraging more exploration. So after more searching of the Lifehold, NLA gets attacked. Then it's over. Just like that. What? Why would you have this in the game if it doesn't even affect the story that much? All it does is just make everyone more angry at the aliens. Anyways, you finally learn where their base is, and possibly that Lao is a traitor. Oh yeah, this guy's name is Lao. He sometimes helps you with missions, but he's not that important until now. Anyways, you go to where the aliens are and find the Lifehold. For real this time. You also learn that Lao is a traitor and gives you his sob story that is very cliche as hell. Anyways, after you beat him, you learn the Lifehold also contains DNA for all life on Earth. And the aliens are also there too. Oh, I also forgot. The entire reason humans are being killed by these guys is that human DNA physically weakens them. Yeah, I'm not f***ing around. Anyways, you beat the head honcho of the alien dudes, and then Lao comes in for redemption and kills him, but it backfires and Lao and the dude I don't care about get fused together. After defeating the boss, everything is handy dandy. And then Elma's just like, oh, by the way, I'm also an alien, but I'm a good one. I'm sorry. What? Alright, writing 101. If you had a plot twist, have it serve the story and be useful. This doesn't. Nothing would change if she's a human. This is just so stupid. Like, really, really asinine. The game basically says, oh, she showed humans how to better technology, and that's why everything is all advanced. Bro, this takes place in the future. You could have just said nothing and everyone would be like, oh, this is the future, so technology is all fancy. We do not need an explanation to this. What we do need an explanation for is the other stupid things, like Lynn's character being so bad. Anyways, after the credits, it's revealed that everyone's actual bodies are dead, and Alma's like, wow, this planet is keeping our robot bodies alive, and then Lao wakes up on a beach and it ends on a cliffhanger. Yeah, you know what? F*** you. I'm not even gonna care anymore. I hate all this sequel bait, and I don't even know too much about the villains. Okay, you know what? It's time to talk about why this game is not a Xenoblade game. Xenoblade X is not a Xenoblade game. Now, before I talk about that, I need to explain what a Xenoblade game is. A Xenoblade game is a game with a story with constant plot twists that serve the story, has a huge-ass world, and most importantly, has a sci-fi story disguised as a fantasy story. Xenoblade X just has a sci-fi story, no fantasy behind it. That's why this game is hashtag NotMyXenoblade. Overall, Xenoblade X is just a huge disappointment. It makes no sense. It had a good formula to follow, and then it just said no. 3 out of 10, hashtag NotMyXenoblade. Hey guys, once again I just want to say thank you for watching. Also, shout out to the YouTuber Johnny Awesome. He allowed me to use his footage of his Let's Play of Xenoblade X for this video. Check out his channel, it's in the description below. And yeah. Also, Johnny, if you're watching this, I totally didn't use your footage without you first saying it. Yeah, I totally didn't get impatient, and halfway through editing you then sent the confirmation email. Anyways, if you like this, you can go check out my Twitch where I actually edited this on stream. And yeah, thanks for watching.